you've been up and about, to your credit. You've been doing a lot of things on your own, and you've been one man who's been very vocal on issues in the Akwa Ibom State. Of course, the listeners, they credit you for that as well. They thank you. But of course, we cannot say because good is there, then we should not aspire for better. Or that we have better, we should not aspire for best. And that's why they say the reward for for good work is more work. So we will continue to press you, Twekong, to speak as you've always spoken, since you have become that
Don't worry, before you murder my parable, just leave it.
I will get it. I'm a good listener. So Twekong, let's begin the conversation this morning. By the way, listener time check is 4 minutes gone past 9. Governor Eno recently gave an economic empowerment to the tune of 13 billion. I'd like to get your thoughts on that, especially in this period where the economy is not exactly dealing likely with the people. So this 13 billion economic empowerment.
31.
Oh, 31. I beg your pardon. I think I should clean my glasses.
Please, you have to.
Yes, 31 billion. I'd like to get your thoughts on that empowerment.
Yesterday, I was on your sister station, the ADBN, and I made a very clear statement that it was a commendable, gesture as captured in the budget of 2026. That fund, had been approved, 31 billion to be, distributed, 1 billion in each of the local government area. And this is meant to capture small and medium-scale enterprises, the farmers, the traders, the transport sectors, the women and the youth. For me, this kind of gesture, shouldn't be taken for granted. I discussed yesterday also, I tried to, state the fact that the government of Pastor Eno is likened to a welfarist government, such that it caters more on the people's welfare. And I can say, boldly that, he had been doing this from the day of inception. If you look at the fact that he had been able to, tackle the issue of gratuity, backlog of gratuity that had been there before he came on board. He had tackled that. Pension, he's paying it. He's building homes for the, for the homeless, called the compassionate homes. He's also, giving out food stamps, and then rice and the rest of it. He's, doing more of, people-centered programs. So for me and for us in Center for Human Rights, we commend that we commend the governor for this, and we acknowledge the fact that in our Constitution, Section 14, the main focus of government is to provide welfare and security of the people. So if you look at me, if you ask me, rather, I would say the governor has succeeded in this area, which is the major function of a government, welfare and security. Here we have security in the state, and here welfare issues are tackled. So for me, the governor has A1 in this regard. And so when the government now come up to say we have now approved that the 31 billion be released, it was an applaud, exercise. But there will be the question that we will interrogate here as CSOs will be the process of getting these funds to the required beneficiaries. Recall that there is a program run that is called AK Cares in Akwa Ibom State. We've had the phase 1 and the phase 2 during the Deacon Emmanuel's administration. It's still running. It's a state government World Bank, assisted program for this same set of persons, for the traders, the medium and small scale, the youth, the women. This is running currently. And the last time I checked, 3 years ago, when I came here to challenge the exercise, and we called it, we said it wasn't giving us the needed, impact. And so we questioned the fact that we're only seeing billboards being erected with the picture of the Commissioner for Economic Development. Then it was Mr. Iman Bob. We are not seeing much on ground. And so we question the integrity and the transparency and accountability of that exercise. That he wasn't open for probing, he wasn't open to, for scrutiny. And that was when they now started, calling us to be part and parcel of what they were doing as the CSOs, beginning to open up their books for us to check. Now, we asked the list of the beneficiaries. They said it was gotten from what they call SOKU. SOKU, they gathered the list from SOKU, federal government, this and that. So we said, well, if you got this list for like 10 years ago, most of these persons might have not been there. Some of them might have upgraded. Some of them must have traveled out of the state, or left the businesses and the rest of it. How do you verify? How do you fact check? If someone says he is into tomato selling, do you know his shop? Where is he selling the tomato? Someone says he's into agro farming, is into fish farming, is into cucumber farming. Have you gone to see his farm before you now give him funds? This wasn't the case. And even when you give these funds, do you get a feedback, a follow-up to get a feedback? Who are the ones checking to see if these funds are actually used for the purpose it was meant for?
And not diverted for
political use. That was the question that we asked. And up till today, the AKKS program, we've not gone to check the funds that we have, allocated from the state government, from the federal government, part of it, have not been verified how these funds were disbursed to these persons. The funds were disbursed, but who got these funds and how it was disbursed and how it has been utilized had not been fact-checked till today. So what we are saying today is that in order for the governor Umoino not to fall into the trap of this kind of set up, that there should be an independent committee to to handle, to manage this 31 billion naira, and there should be a follow through. You don't just stay in Uyo and you compile list, and let the committee be devoid of politicians. Politicians, you see, politicians are like people that we call in our local palace. What
does that mean?
Yes, politicians in our local palace, the way we call them are what? People that are doing you, they are harming you, are the ones you are even talking to, complaining, telling them your problems. That is what politicians are. They are self-centered. They are myopic. They have a narrow-minded opinion.
I believe we should say.
I don't want to say some. I don't want to say.
It cannot be generalized.
Well,
it cannot be generalized.
If you fall in that trap, then you can get yourself right.
If you display that kind of trait, then that's the person that you are.
If you are not in that circle, then prove yourself right. So that is why we are where we are today. The governor had been doing well in his right, but you hear him coming out to complain. Who is he complaining to? Those he appointed. Separately, the governor has called stakeholders conference, press conferences, and you will see him lamenting about his appointees. Who are the appointees? Are they me and you? They are the ones who are politicians who are working with him. Why is he lamenting about them? It's because they're not helping him to succeed. So the governor is not a typical politician that comes. He came from the business sector, background, right? If you see the governor approach is about more business minded. And that's why you see him, he goes to site to see, you won't see those he gave a job, he will be, shouting. Because for him, when you are given an assignment, you should deliver. As far as you are being paid for it. But they will not deliver. They will allow him to go back to check and say, this job has been given. Severally, let me not give instances. But I can draw a few instances for you to understand why I say politicians are those that are, hurting the system. And they create rooms for failures. They create room for we call it jobbers to make out things from there. The governor, during his 100 days in office, I will draw instances so that you can agree with me that politicians are more about what? During the governor's 100 days in office, when he stands, during his Thanksgiving, in his village, the governor said that the church that he used for Thanksgiving, the roof should be, upgraded. During his first year in office, NUJ did a Thanksgiving in the same church in the in Sirubium, and the governor was the special guest of honor. During the governor's remark, he lamented that this particular church, the roof, had been asked to be, upgraded, and it was not up to that 1 year after. It wasn't done. The governor went to a particular factory along Itu that was doing tiles and the rest of it during the first 100 days in office, and said that the factory be relocated to Itam Industrial Park. Ike, go there now. The company is doing more harm to the environment than before. It's still where it was. It never moved. I can give you instances, several instances, so you can see that the governor is alone. He's alone in his government. And so when you see him come out to shout, not because he doesn't like his appointees, but because he feels that when he gives instruction, that instruction is a policy that must be implemented.
Yeah.
So what are we simply saying, to bring it down to our issue this morning, is that a committee should be set up to manage this 31 billion naira that is going to be given to farmers, to small and medium scale enterprises, to traders, to transporters, and the rest, so that the committee will be able to generate a list that is devoid of politics. Because when you now give politicians to man the committee, the first thing they will do is they will be asking for party membership. They will ask for INEC voters card. They will be asking you questions. Did you work for us? Which ward are you? Which unit are you? Which polling unit are you? Who is your political leader? Who recommends you here? And those questions are going to put out so many people who are the actual beneficiaries. That is why I say, and this is not what the government intends, because it's a state fund. It's not a party fund, right? This fund is pulled from the state fund, from taxpayers' monies, from the budget of the state. It wasn't budgeted for a political party, but for the state. So if the committee is made up of politicians, then the program is dead on arrival. That is why I had to bring instances for you to understand why I say it should not be likened like the AKKS program that has failed the state. It shouldn't also be given to the politicians that will just carry it and keep and begin to collect names from party members and use that one to woo for vote, which is vote buying in disguise. So, having said this, the governor is commended for this gesture, for this effort, for his effort in ensuring that, the hardship in the state is ameliorated, because flood has affected so many farm produce in the state. Today, water leaf, I said this today in your sister program, water leaf, the cheapest of the cheapest cash crop in the state, is a bunch of it, a small bunch of it, is 10,000 naira and more. And there is scarcely any food you will cook in the state without putting water leaf. Scarcely. Afang soup goes with water leaf. Vegetable goes with water leaf. Egusi, water leaf. Just name it. And it's a very cash crop. It grows everywhere. But because of the constant rains and the flood, it has washed off on the soil. And so the farmers today, scarcely have water leaf. And so the water leaf today is very expensive in the market, costlier than even Gary. So what am I saying? Farmers actually need this grant or support much more than politicians. If you put this committee in place, draw up members from the farmers, members from the road transport union, members from the fish farmers, farmers generally, members from the youth, from the women, from the CSOs, from the NLC, right? And then you will be able to have effectiveness of the committee. And then let the committee generate a new list, a clean list from each of the 31 local government councils or areas in the state. You will be able to see that council chairman will not hijack it and say it's our project, it's our government project. Party chairman won't hijack it. Ward chairman, councillors, commissioners, SAs won't hijack it, and it becomes, a party, program, like a state-owned program.
Okay.